Hey, kia ora. Helen Brahms here coming to you live from Sun City in Arizona. Hope you're all having a super fantastic, sparkling start to Winning Wednesday, that day of the week where we get to celebrate wins. But we should be celebrating wins every single time they happen. Because when you celebrate wins, you remember them, you remember the feeling, you get that really cool feeling, and you use that feeling to keep moving forward and have more wins. So what wins are you celebrating this past week? I'm celebrating surviving the launch of Mailbox Power 3.0. This week has been an incredible week of teamwork, being part of a team where we've come together and we've just got in and we've gotten done what needs to be done. I'm very proud of the team that I'm part of with the customer services at Mailbox Power. They are incredible people, and we survived. We have survived the first 4 days since the launch. We had extra people on Saturday afternoon. We had extra people on Sunday. We had a crazy Monday. Yesterday was a little quieter. I have no idea what today's like so far. But, it's one of those things that we can rely on each other as a team. And to me, that is a huge win, to be part of a winning team. And I'm very blessed to be part of the team that I am part of, and with the attitude we have of getting in there and helping the users as best we can, and maybe even teaching them a little something along the way as well to make their experience even better. Because I was with one person yesterday, and he asked me to see if a particular action had happened on his account. And I went in and checked, and I said, yes, this has happened. But I noticed this when I was checking it, and is this what you wanted, or do you want this here? And if you want this here, then this is what you need to do to make it happen. And he was so appreciative of that, because he didn't realize that he had set something up. He had set it up correctly, just not exactly how he wanted it set up. So he was able to go in and quickly make those changes, and now it's working exactly how he wants it to work. So it's noticing things like that, and to me that was a win. When he came back and said that he was appreciative of that, to me that was a win. So I love the wins, because it gives me a good feeling that I've actually helped somebody out, and I like helping people. So that's why I enjoy working so much on the help desk. But other ones is I am slowly making progress on my projects. I'm a little behind because of the extra time being on the help desk, but that's okay. That's okay. I will get some stuff done this morning before I have to get onto the chat. And but overall, it's been an awesome week. I even tweaked my back a little bit, but I've got a great friend who lives within the area, and she has an awesome chiropractor and masseuse. So we're going to be making good use. So she's going to send me the information so I can get my back sorted out, because it's a little fun trying to walk. And, well, walking's not the problem, except for when Zeffie sees something she wants and she jerks on the leash. And for a 36-pound dog, she has a lot of muscle, that thing. She's almost pulled me off balance a couple of times, and that was before I tweaked my back. But then, of course, when she does her business, you got to bend down to pick it up, and it's sort of like, well, that's a bit of a challenge. But I have figured it out. Because it's painful on the right side, so if I kind of do a lunge with my left leg in front and my right leg behind, then I can easily reach down to the ground. I can reach down to the ground to pick up her poop and stuff without too much discomfort. Yes, there's still some discomfort there, but nowhere near as painful. And my back isn't locking up on me when I do that action. So it's a way that I can do what I need to do, but without causing my back to lock up. So for me, that's a win, figuring that out. I'm going to be getting up here, and as soon as I finish this, I'm walking around some more. So I'm going to make sure I am walking around a lot more today than I have been, and try and get in to see this chiropractor as soon as possible. But I've got my oils on my back, helping with that area as well. So we'll see how that goes. But anyway, so celebrate your wins this week. And your tell your story question of the day: what pets did you have growing up? And that is pets as in P-E-T-S. I know sometimes my E's sound like I's. Casey Eberhardt. He's constantly teasing me about it. But that's okay. But what pets did you have growing up? not pets, cats, dogs, birds, hamsters. We what other things can you have as pets? Horses, sheep. What animals or birds did you have growing up? We had, when I was born, my parents already had a cat called Mitzi. I have no recollection of the cat. I know it was black and white, and I have pictures of my mum holding me with Mitzi sitting nearby. So I know we did have a cat at that time. I have no recollection of her. I don't even know what happened to her. Then my dad had birds at one point. He had them in an aviary on the back porch. Where else did we have cats or dog? No, we never had a dog when I was growing up. The first dog I had was Bear, and that was Brad's dog when I first met him. And he lived to be almost 15. And he passed on September 17th, 2004. And we got Gus December 4th of 2004. No, sorry, December 3rd, 2004, we got Gus. Of course, we had him almost 13 years. Let's see. And then, of course, now got Zephy. But we've also had Misty, Jazz, and Jewel, who were our cockatiels. We had those. But growing up, we had Anthony, my youngest brother, found a kitten on his way to school one day. Yeah, on his way to school, and took it to school and told the teacher he found this kitten on the way. And so he then went knocking on doors to find out if they had lost a kitten. And nope. So he brings the kitten. So the teacher tells him to bring the kitten home with him. I don't think my parents were too happy about that. But we welcomed this little ginger and white kitten into the house. And I want to say we called it Sandy, but I don't think that was the right name. I know I had Sandy later on. That was a similar cat. But then that cat ended up running away after a few weeks or months. And us kids were kind of distraught about it. And that's when we got Fluffy. And Fluffy was a long-haired, black and white, well, not long-haired, black and white cat. And she was the bomb. She was the bomb. She was awesome. Even though she was the family cat, she tended to favor me more. Like, she liked to come into my bedroom when I was there. When I went away to the Air Force, she would sit at my bedroom door and meow while Mum would be in there dusting. And she'd tell Fluff to come on in, and Fluffy wouldn't. So she'd pick up Fluffy, put her on my bed, and Fluffy would go straight back to the door and sit there and meow. And when I got home, when I was home on leave, I would be in my bedroom and I'd hear her meowing at the door. I'd go, "Come on, Fluff," and she would, boom, like that, jump up on the bed with me. When Mum and Dad were renovating the house, I lived in the caravan in the backyard, and tow trailer for those Americans. And Fluffy would come and sleep with me on the bed, and we had like it was bigger than a full size but not a queen size bed in there, and I would get about this much of the bed, and Fluffy would have about this much of the bed. One of those things where the cat just stretches out. And then 5 o'clock every morning, I would hear in my ear, and I'm like, oh. And so I'd turn up and go back to sleep. And if I kept ignoring her, she'd end up rubbing her face on my face, and all I had to do was just reach over, unlock the door, open it enough for her to get out, and then close it again and go back to sleep until the alarm clock went off. But yeah, so she was a really good cat. But then when my parents moved, she ended up running away, and so unfortunately we lost her. But yeah, after that, I had Sandy, was a little ginger kitten. She got run over. No, she disappeared. What happened to her? I don't remember. No, she was a tortoiseshell. Sorry. No, we had two cats. One and then the other. We had Sandy, was a little golden thing, and not sure what happened to her. And then we had another cat that I can't even think the name of, but it was a tortoiseshell one. And she got out one day and got hit by a car because we were on a main road. So she got out of the yard one day and got hit by a car. And we came home and found her laying in the gutter. I was upset about that. And then I didn't have anything until I moved to the States, where Brad had Bear. And then when Bear passed, we got Gus 3 months later. And now I've got Zephy. Oh, and then in between all of that, we had the 3 cockatiels. Misty was our first one. Then we got Jazz. Misty was a gray pied. Jazz was a cinnamon pied. And Jewel was what was she? She was mainly yellow. And then Jazz died one day in Brad's hands. Jazz was kind of Brad's bird. Died one day in his hands. And then exactly a year later, so we just were left with Misty and Jewel, because we had the 3 together. And then we got Misty first, then we got Jazz, and then Jewel came along. and she was a yellow pied. Um, and Jazz would have these like little seizures, and she actually had a seizure in Brad's head one day and died in his hands. And so we had to deal with all of that. Then exactly a year later, I walked down one morning, and Jules sitting at the top of the, like as far up in the cage as she can sit on a perch, and she's like tripping. I'm like, what the heck? And I looked down at the bottom of the cage, and there was this pile of gray at the bottom of the cage. And then I realized it was Misty, and she had passed away during the night. And so I literally screamed, and Brad came barreling down the stairs, and because I couldn't touch dead things. So then we were just left with Jewel, and we knew that Jewel had only grown up with other birds, and we had no plans at that point of getting any other birds. And so we very quickly found another home for her, where they had 2 cockatiels, and Jewel was a cuddler. She would go to anybody and just sit on your shoulder and just snuggle up into your neck here, and she'd just sit there and just like, with her head basically on your neck, and she was very much a cuddler. And the new owners, the guy came over and picked up, and we gave him one of the cages, and so that, because when you're introducing birds, you put them in 2 cages next to each other so they can get used to each other before putting them together in the same cage. And so he took, and he sent us a message like 3 weeks later to say Jewel is like, his mother loved Jewel, and told the other 2 birds that if they didn't if they didn't get their act together, they were out of the house. So Jewel had somebody who was doting on her, so she would have been absolutely in high heaven about that one. So so those are all the pets that I've had over the years. And we've had goldfish along the way as well. Yeah, I'm not very good with goldfish. I end up killing them. I'm not sure how, but anyway. So what fish, dogs, cats, horses, lizards, creatures have you had over the years as your pets? That's PETS. So let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to write about them in your journal. What were they like? What was their character like? And if you have any questions about researching family trees, then private message me or drop them in the comments below, and your question could become our question of the week. Last night's question was how to find out if you're related to somebody famous. So if you had missed that one, you'll have to go back and see that one. But that's it from me for this morning. Go have a super fantastic Sparkling Winning Wednesday, and we will catch you guys back here tonight around 6 p.m. Pacific time, unless I'm getting my back adjusted. It might be a little later. Who knows? We'll keep you posted. Hei konera.